Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our pre-match press conference to preview our game against Tottenham Hotspur. We'll start off with Vinny from Sky.
David, how's the settling in going, if you've indeed had to settle in?
Look, I've enjoyed it. It's been busy. I mentioned that last week that we've been full on all week. But look, all going well as we could expect, except for the result in midweek.
In terms of players you got available, James Garner, Tim Irabinam, Dwight McNeil, how far away are they?
Well, Jimmy's back on the pitch training, and but the others at the moment aren't. We're hoping that Dwight isn't too far away, but we're just waiting for some more information really. So that's about it really. Tim's just still just about to get back training as well now.
Chimity and Seamus a bit further behind.
Yeah, Seamus just had a slight injury in training, so they're a wee bit behind that. Yeah.
Any update on Breuer? Is he definitely going to go back? Is that loan deal going to?
No, I don't think it's absolutely. I'd said in the press conference after the game when I was asked the question that I think his injury we now feels going to take longer than we hoped it would do when he first picked up his injury. So it's one of the options which might be available, and the other people around the club they're talking about it with Chelsea just now as well.
In terms of you possibly adding to the squad, what value do you see in today's market? And the reason I ask is because we go back to your first spell in charge, and in the January, some of the January transfers you were able to do. Thinking of Nikica Jelavic, it's 13 years since you brought him in January. Yeah. He hit 11 in 16 in all competitions that season. Landon Donovan, his first loan spell, 2 goals in 7 Premier League games. Brian McBride hit 4 in 7 starts. Yeah. You got Arteta on loan, Stephen Pienaar on loan for his second spell. Manuel Fernandes back in 2007 as well. Do you see that kind of value in today's market?
Not a bad group of players to bring in, wasn't it, when you look back now? It really was. And I have to say, most of them have all made contact as well when I've come back, so they're all good boys as well. Look, I don't know if there is that level of value out there at the moment for the players you're talking about, but we're looking really closely, like everybody else is. I think the hardest thing is when you drop into a club I came in probably the first week or so, week and a half into the transfer window. You're trying to catch up with what the club can do, what we need, trying to work it out yourself a little bit as well. But look, we're getting there. We're trying to get things in place that if we can do some business, we'll try and do it if possible.
And Ernest Nouma, what can you tell us about the situation there? Because we understood that a deal was potentially on the table for him to come from Lyon, but obviously when you talk about playing catch-up, does he come into that category?
Well, he's a player who I know that we've been looking at, but I couldn't say to you for a minute that I think it's done or it's underway. Unless something's happening, I don't know. But at the moment, we're looking at some players. He's one of them, and hopefully we can get some before the end of the season, or before the end of the transfer window, I should say.
To matters on the pitch, what do you expect from Spurs? Because one week we see them lose 6-3 to Liverpool, they then beat them 1-0 in the Cup, and then we see Ange Postecoglou unhappy at the performance his side put in the North London derby the other night.
Well, I know Ange quite well enough over the years. But the job he done at Celtic was incredible, really was. He's come down, he's taken on a really big job at Tottenham Hotspur, as everybody's aware. I think he's done a lot of really good things at Tottenham. I think his side can be a little bit up and down at the moment, but that's only because that's the way football is. And I have to say, they're a side which play incredibly open attacking football. So everybody's quite aware of what he doesn't change. He's said that to everybody. He doesn't change what he does. So all credit to him.
And I heard you after the game against Villa the other night. You spoke about the positives that you saw in the performance. What's your message to the players now to take that on from there?
Well, look, we were obviously disappointed not to get something out of the game, but there was opportunities in the night which maybe a goal would have changed it and made us feel slightly different about the outcome on the night. But look, we made a few chances, which was positive. We didn't quite finish them. We gave up 1 or 2 chances the first half, but not so bad as the game went on. We probably had a bit more of the ball than we've had for a while as well. So there was some good signs. Obviously, we need to just make that special moment count. We didn't quite do so well on set pieces on the night and 1 or 2 other bits and pieces, but partly due to the quickness of getting in and not having time to do every job possible.
Just finally, one thing to check, David. Talk that Charlie Adam could be joining your backroom staff. What's the situation?
Well, I've mentioned that I'd like to bring in somebody to take care of the set pieces in some ways, and Charlie's one of a few people who are actually getting mentioned to me. I've had a lot of people inquiring about it, a lot of very good people. So, not made a decision on it yet, but hopefully we might get close to something shortly.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks, Vinny. We'll go to John T at Premier League Productions.
Afternoon, David.
Hi there.
Just sticking with the game in midweek, many people thought Vitaly Mykolenko looked a lot more confident, a lot more assured. We spoke to him this morning. He said you had a little bit of a conversation with him, gave him a bit more licence to get forward. Is that something you said to him? Is that something that you want to see more of him, and something that you want to encourage as you look for players to be effective in the final third?
Absolutely. I'd love to get both my full-backs on. I think my time here, we probably had, I think we had the biggest assist maker in the Premier League in Leighton Baines at one time, and went on to become an England international. So would love to get a combination going like we did when it was Baines and Pina, for example. But Miko, no, we want him to get forward and join in. He actually put in a really good ball that Doucouré got on the end of, but didn't quite finish, and he won a bit later on as well. So we want to up those numbers. It's, two good crosses in the game is not enough. We need to get him up to 6 or 7 if we can. But we want that to happen on the right side as well. We want to try and get opportunities to get forward a bit more when we can.
And I want you to somewhat forget footballing technicalities here. You will, of course, need some of that this weekend as well. But what are the true human characteristics, if you will, that you need to see from your group of players when you approach this run, the tail end of the season? And is it somewhat more than football? Because I know it is to the Everton faithful.
Well, I think you're right. I think that like team spirit, togetherness, individual characteristics, that you stand up and be counted, you don't hide. They cover a multitude, and when you actually start getting into them all, you could come up with lots of different things. But quite simply, if they continue to show the desire they've been shown. I thought a lot of the players on the night fought really hard trying to get a result, good attitude. So all those things need to be part of it. When you're not doing so well, they're the minimum you hope that you're going to get from them. So we have to try and keep those bits up, hope our luck changes, hope the couple of chances we get the next time they'll go in, and we can start to pick up some points.
And I know just finally a lot of questions you'll be taking are about how do we score goals at the opposite end. A positive for you, Jordan Pickford, a word on him, 300 appearances for this football club. Just how impressed with him have you been, and what does he mean to this football club?
Well, I think I gave Jordan his debut at Sunderland. Big Sam might have, but I think I did, and I put him in the team. And then actually when I left Sunderland, I'd said to Bill Kenwright, I says, you should sign a goalkeeper. He's so good. So that meant that Jordan was well, they went ahead and signed Jordan, and I think he's been great. He's going to become England's #1 for numerous years now. So no, I'd early times with Jordan, and I'm looking forward to working with him again. And it's great that he's got 300 appearances for this club, because it's a great privilege to do that.
Brilliant, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, John T. We'll go to Shamoon at the BBC.
Hi, David.
Hi there, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. Firstly, are you able to explain the complexities and difficulties of taking charge of a club partway through a season?
Well, when I'm probably as experienced, and I think I'm the oldest certainly in the league, but I'm probably as experienced as MD with the games I've got in the Premier League certainly. So I should know it as well as MD, and it's really, really difficult. I think this club has got different connotations around it as well that don't are strange as well. But I think that coming in and trying to take over a job very quickly is never easy. This one feels easier because I've been here before, know a lot of the people here, know a lot of the staff and the people around the place. But ultimately, I'm still coming into a situation which has been difficult, and I have to try and build it up again and get it right. But managers have to do it as part of the job. You don't always get the jobs exactly when you want them. Maybe in the summertime when you've got a bit of time to prepare them. But this one, as I said at the time, was really came on incredibly quickly.
Yeah, if we take someone like Amorim at your former club, Manchester United, as an example, still looking like he's getting his methods across, how long do you think it's going to take yourself to get fully across the ideas you want to get?
We're slightly different because we're in a position where it's winning is probably always. I'm not saying that Man United are any different, because I'm sure they are, but we've got to try and get ourselves back to winning ways as quickly as we can. The things we've talked about, scoring goals, all those points, we've got to try and find a way of getting more of them. So I think there'll be plenty of time to get my ways over, but I think first and foremost is concentrating on what the players can do here and see if we can get them out of this difficult position.
Yeah, and just on Ange, looks like the media glares on him, 1 win in 9 league games. What's that like as a manager, when there's that constant speculation, there's constant talk about your position?
Well, I hope it's not about my position. I'm only in one game, but you never know. In this game, it can change very quickly. But I think the point you're making is, like, you've got to try and win the games, and so I'm saying it's really important to get good positive results. I believe we're going in the right direction. We've got a tough run of fixtures actually when you look at having Aston Villa, Tottenham and Brighton coming up, so it's quite a difficult period.
Cheers.
Thanks, Shemaine. We'll go to Julia.
Hi, David.
Hi there.
When you talk about the fullbacks and attacking, like we're in your previous Everton side, and overlapping with the wingers, given you've got Leighton Baines in your coaching setup now, is that a huge part of his role? Because I imagine there's no better teacher than someone who's been there and done it.
Yeah, I agree totally, and the people who watched us back then would have said that Bainesy was fabulous at it and got forward plenty and joined in. So if we can get the chance to work and get time to do so, we'll try and see if we can get Miko to do something similar. But meanwhile, we have to find a way of making sure that everybody's involved, and we find ways of getting results.
This week we found out that the club complied with the PSR round this time. So does that help you in this transfer window, and do you have any specific priorities at the moment?
Well, I'm probably not the person you should be speaking about it, I think, because I've only come in and I don't quite have all the full information. But I think that things are looking much better than they were. Obviously, the new ownership's come in as well, which will help greatly. So I hope that it doesn't affect us too much, and certainly in this transfer window. And I'm sure as we go on, then it'll be much more easier to do business in the future.
And Harrison Armstrong, he's only a young member of your squad. Yeah. What have you seen from him, and do you think he can be somebody for the future or roundabout now?
Yeah, I've been hugely impressed. I mean, look, we've only had a couple of days training, so it's very difficult to judge things and work out exactly how people are and what they can do. And you have games, so you're preparing. You're not always doing things, but you can see them in big areas and how they play in small areas as well. But I have to say, what I've seen of him at the moment, I've been hugely impressed, and I think he's got a bit of personality as well. So let's hope.
And finally, the expectation of Evertonians. From your first time, how passionate they are. Given how difficult it's been the last few years supporting Everton, I just wondered what your message was right now to some very concerned fans, I think.
Yeah, well, I hope that they'll always be incredibly loyal here. That's the one thing they will be. I think the last couple of years it's been nip and tuck, and it looks like this one could be as well. So we need them to be hugely with us, hugely behind us. And I thought they were brilliant the other night against Aston Villa. I think the players the other night, ran Aston Villa really close, and as I said, maybe if we'd got something out of it, there might not have been too much to complain about. But obviously, getting those wins, and I keep repeating myself, but it's so important. It'll bring back some confidence, a bit of trust in everything we're doing. So hopefully we can get started and get that win.
Thanks, Julia. We'll finish off with Carl Markham from the Press Association.
Hi, David.
Hi there.
Just a quick one. As Vinny's already pointed out, you always had an eye for a decent player and a bargain. I'm just wondering how involved you can actually get in that yourself this month.
That's really for me. It's probably the hardest bit, is to come in and suddenly know what's going on and what would be the best. And actually, I said last week we're really busy. I'm trying to spend a few hours in the recruitment room to try and see where we're looking, what we're doing. And that's taking up quite a lot of time as well, while I'm still trying to work the team and do all the other bits as well. But in the days gone by, we always had a great idea of what players, especially through the Championship, when you look at the players we brought at that time. Maybe the club was in a different place, and I think probably football generally was in a different place there, where it was maybe a bit easier to go and buy. Maybe not everybody was out watching quite as much as what we are today. Obviously every game's getting covered through the analysts and the TVs, etc., etc. But we made a great business out of the Championship in those early days, and there's quite a few players who obviously went on to become really top players.
So as you say there, you obviously the club has a recruitment department and a director of football. So have you been able to offer your input into? Have you come with ideas of players
Yeah.
you might want?
A little bit. Well, obviously we need players at the moment who we think can help us in the Premier League and we're positioned. But we're also hoping that we could buy players for the future as well. You know, so if there's something that we could get, which we think we hopefully it's going to be here for 4 or 5 years or longer, and doing well for the team. But trying to get that in January, it'd be difficult. You know, if I had been in the hot seat for a lot longer, you would have been definitely saying, hey, you had more time to see it. I think coming in very quickly makes it quite difficult to sort of get on top of all the players, what's getting put to you.
Thanks, Carl. Any further questions in the open section before we move on? No? Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, David.